She called the county on us, screaming about unauthorized structures and safety violations. What she didn't know. That old barn she tried to get bulldozed would lead the cops right to the stolen truck her own husband had stashed away. It all started with a knock, more like a bang, actually. Bam bam bam. My grandpa had just sat down with his morning coffee when Karen stomped onto the porch, HOA clipboard in one hand, her other fist tight on her hip like she was waiting for applause. You people think you're above the rules. That barn's a hazard and it violates Article 14C of the HOA safety bylaws. Grandpa raised a brow, sipped his coffee, and calmly said, that barn's been here since before your cookie-cutter house was a blueprint, ma'am. Oh, don't ma'am me, she snapped, the pearls around her neck practically rattling. It's been reported. You'll be hearing from the city. And she wasn't bluffing. 2 days later, county inspectors were on our land, measuring angles, snapping photos like they were shooting for Architectural Digest. Grandpa stood there, arms crossed, jaw tight. I could hear his breath slow, shaky. That barn wasn't just wood and nails, it was his father's. It held memories. Tools. And yeah, some dust and rust, but nothing dangerous. That evening, I caught him wiping his eyes with the same red handkerchief he used when we fixed the fencing together last summer. But then things shifted. Hey, one of the inspectors muttered, eyes squinting toward the tree line, what's that under the tarp? Behind the barn, near the back trail no one used anymore, was a dented green tarp. One of the cops gently lifted the edge and holy hell. Underneath? A cherry red Dodge Ram. Plate stripped. VIN scratched. And a faint smell, oil, sweat, something more rotten. The officer stepped back and radioed it in. Dispatch, I think we've got a match on that stolen vehicle out of Riverside last month. Wait. What? A stolen truck? Here. Karen must have seen the flashing lights from her porch, because not even 5 minutes later, she came marching over in her terrier print slippers, arms swinging like she was ready to sue gravity itself. What now? Are you finally condemning the barn? But her confidence cracked the moment she saw the police pulling out the truck. Wait, what's that doing here? You tell us, the officer said, eyes narrowing. Whose property line does this fall under? She stammered, shook her head, tried to laugh. Well, not mine, clearly. I mean, technically that's still his land, right? She pointed toward Grandpa, who hadn't said a word yet. The officer raised an eyebrow. Ma'am, do you know a Carl Dennison? Karen's face froze. Her mouth opened, then nothing came out. Just a little gasp. Like a balloon deflating in slow motion. Carl's my husband, she finally whispered, voice cracking. Interesting, the officer said, because this truck matches the one he reported stolen 3 weeks ago. Insurance claim and all. Oh. My. God. You could feel the air snap. Turns out, Karen's loving husband had filed a fraudulent insurance report, sold the truck for cash, then moved it onto Grandpa's land hoping it'd never be found. When Karen sicked the city on us, she never guessed they'd poke around that deep. But the best part? The barn she tried so hard to tear down, that barn had a security camera Grandpa had installed last fall after someone tried to steal copper wiring. And that camera? It caught Carl, plain as day, driving the truck behind the barn and covering it himself. Talk about poetic justice. The footage was handed over within the hour. Cops arrested Carl the next morning. Insurance fraud. Possession of stolen property. Attempted framing. The whole shebang. Karen, of course, tried to play innocent. Claimed she had no idea, tried to sue us for emotional distress after being blindsided by her husband's betrayal. But the judge? He saw right through it. She'd signed the HOA complaint. She'd written 2 forged neighbor signatures to strengthen her case against Grandpa. And when the truth came out, she didn't just lose the case, she got slapped with a lawsuit herself. Fraud, forgery, and defamation. You ever hear someone really wail in court? Not cry. Not sniffle. Wail. That was Karen, clutching her pearls like they might choke her, sobbing about how all she ever wanted was a tidy neighborhood. Well, she got her wish. Because now she's banned from the HOA board, her husband's in jail, and her house. Foreclosure. Turns out fraud, fines and legal fees don't mix well with HOA salaries. Meanwhile, Grandpa, still drinking his coffee on the porch. Same red handkerchief. Same quiet pride. And the barn, still standing. If you love stories where karma bites back hard, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more.